Hey, what's up everybody? How you doing? It's me, Robert Anthony, your host here at Rob the RV Guy. Today, let's talk about rooftop 12-volt air conditioners. Well, here we are again talking about air conditioners. And today, what I'm going to talk to you about is this CountryMod 12-volt air conditioner. This is a 12-volt model. CountryMod offers a 24-volt model as well. They sent this to me and asked me if I would install it on the Bigfoot and see if it would work for me. And I'm going to tell you why I took it upon myself to take them up on this opportunity and go over some of those things with you. And then we're going to walk through the installation process, and then I'll give you my final verdict. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about why I'm doing this. As you may know, we live on the road full time, and we live oftentimes in the off-grid capacity. And so because I'm going to be doing a huge solar array across the top of the Bigfoot, one of the things that I've been trying to figure out how to deal with the floating rack that we're going to build is to decrease the height of the tallest item up there. And right now, the tallest item is the RecPro Houghton air conditioning unit, which I am quite fond of. You may recall from this video right here, when we installed that last year at about this time in Texas. Love that air conditioner. It just sits really high. Now RecPro builds a low profile unit as well, but it's a 120 volt. And I wanted to go ahead and give this 12 volt a try, given the fact that CountryMod is providing this for me to review and talk to you about it once I do some installation on it. Now the thing about this is this thing, even the RecPro low profile, most of the low profile units, they sit at about 9 inches high. This only sits at 7 inches high. And at the most, it supposedly only draws about 400 or 500 watts, or perhaps 720 at startup. It typically runs, according to the documentation, and we're going to test it, between 40 and 60 amps. So it says that it'll run on a 400 amp hour battery overnight without a problem on the eco mode. And of course, we have a lot of battery power on the Bigfoot. And when I'm done with this solar rack, I'm going to have 2,150 watts of solar on the roof. So it'll be more than adequate to run this, provided we have sun during the day, and charge the batteries with that solar array. It's a little wider than your traditional, even your low profile units. This one is quite wide. So the variable is going to be is whether or not it'll fit on the Bigfoot. I have done measurement after measurement to make sure that it'll fit, and I'm pretty sure it's going to, with little tiny bit of space next to my gray water vent stack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bench test this before I put it on. I'm also going to make some modifications to the unit, provided it fits up there, because I'm going to actually wire it in the Bigfoot instead of trying to pull it through the fiberglass and trying to get it down through the sidewall following the Romex line that was put in by the factory for the 120 volt that's up there. What I'm instead going to do is I'm going to go in through the refrigerator vent stack down to the distribution panel to get my power. I've already run all my power. I've increased my wire gauge. This requires a 4 AWG, a 4 AUG wire. That's what comes from the factory with 15 foot of 4 AUG wire, and I ran a 4 AUG set all the way back to the batteries and back up to the distribution panel, so that's already been done. And when it's all done, I'm going to show you how I'm actually wiring it in, provided it fits on the roof and it fits in the spot that it's supposed to fit. So without further ado, I'm going to bench test this for you, and we'll see what we're going to be doing with regard to how efficiently it works on the bench here. Okay, so we have the unit hooked up. What we're going to do is we're going to pull an amp draw on the multimeter, and we're going to see what it's pulling. And with the compressor on, we're going to see what temperature we're reading out of the duct work that would be normally on the inside of the unit. So we're going to do that real quick and see what we're going to pull on it. Let's turn it on, get it down. All right, compressor's on. And we're pulling 26 amps right now, 25 amps, 21 amps. Pressure's off, 10 amps. Okay, we're pulling 26 amps at the max, 25, 24. And well, we're running, so it's quite quiet. About 63 degrees coming out of the cold here. So I feel like that's pretty good. The fan's remarkably quiet. Let's see how it goes on the inside. But yeah, all right. Well, bench test complete. Next step is going to be put it on the top of the Bigfoot and run it. All right. Welcome to the roof of the Bigfoot. So I know the roof is filthy dirty and it's a total chaotic mess up here. But this is the first part of a multi-step process where we're going to be building a floating solar rack across the whole roof. So the reason that I was willing to accept this CountryMod Rooftop 12-volt air conditioner is because it gets my ground clearance so much lower, or my actual height from the floor up so much lower. This comes in at just at 8 inches. So it's 8 inches high. Putting it on the Bigfoot, my big concern was over here with this sewer vent, the gray water vent tank, but we just made it because it's a wide one. This is a low profile unit. It's 31 and a half or 31 and 3/4 inches wide by about 30 inches in length. So had to be mindful of that. So I'm gonna make one last modification that I'm gonna show you. Now you'll notice what I did here is I actually came out of the back with liquid tight. The way these come from the factory, the wires they're planning, you're running the wires inside of your roof down your wall. The Bigfoot has about a 2.5 inch ceiling up there, and the wire run would have been a nightmare to get it through. So what I instead chose to do is I bought some liquid tight, 3/4 inch liquid tight, and I rerouted the wires inside of this unit that plugged together with the 15 feet of 4 all-wire gauge that they send with the unit. That's 15 feet they send with the unit to install it into your battery system. I pulled those instead out the back, put them in a liquid tight, and then all the way through liquid tight 3/4 inch into the refrigerator stack is what I did. And then down that wall, pulled the fridge out, mounted them all cable tied to the wall. They're all in wire loam, very, very protected. One of the things that I don't like is the connectors that they send with the unit. They're huge. They're like 1 inch, 2 inches long, and they're very cumbersome to work with. So what I did is I bought this double stack, separated bus bar, rated for 1,000 amps. So or 600 amps, I'm sorry, I think. There will be a link to this in the description below in case you decide to do this. So what I need to do now is I need to connect all of these together, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing that inside this junction box now. All right, so we are all connected. We put in the double post separated bus bar to link together the negative and the positive on the 12-volt side down to the battery. We're going to go in and we're going to test this out and take some temperature readings and give you my final verdict. Look at how nice this is. It sits so low. The solar rack that's going to be up here is going to be amazing. I am so excited about that. And this is going to run off of the 2100 watts of solar without a problem. All right, so we're inside the Bigfoot. I like this, the way it fits here. This is the 3rd air conditioner in here, so we're going to have to do some carpet cleaning around here. But the internal plenum here is nice and streamlined. Lots of air draw and a lot of good vents here. One of the things that I like is the louvers actually are adjustable, and they have an auto that you can set so that they move up and down as the unit's running, which kind of acts as an oscillating fan. You don't have to use that, but you can. So what I did is I actually wired the unit in, pulled it down like I said, and I put a Blue Sea cutoff switch. That'll also be available in the description below should you want to purchase that. Recommend Blue Sea products. That's about all I would buy as far as that goes. But I wanted an internal breaker or an internal cutoff. They're meant to be wired straight to the battery or to a bus bar that goes straight to the battery. But I wanted the ability to turn it off totally, to cut all the power to it for when I need to service it. So we're going to check how much wattage this thing is drawn, as well as what the amp draw is, and we're going to get a temperature reading on both the cold air and the return air. All right, here we go. Unit's kicking on. Turn those lures off for right now. All right, I heard the compressor kick on. Man, you can hardly hear it. You know how sometimes they just shake the whole roof. You can hardly hear this thing. We can see right now the DC is pulling 32 amps, 440 watts as the compressor kicks on and is running. So it's on full blast, the fan is on high, and we're running 450, 449. Looks like it's going to cap off right at around 460, maybe a little higher. Looks like that's where it's going to stay. So we're going to get a delta T here. We're going to check what this is drawn, or what it's blowing out right now. We're down to 47.3 on the outblow, or the outgoing air. 46.8. That's really good. All right. Now let's see what our return is. Let's see what we got here. Getting about 71.6, 47 on the air coming out, 71. That gives us a delta T of right around 24. And so in air conditioning in an RV, we're looking for between 20 and 25, or 18 and 25, 25 being the absolute high end. So this thing is running really, really efficiently, really well. I'm going to turn on those louvers. All right, let's go out. I'll give you the final analysis. All right, so that's going to about do it for the install and the bench test and the actual working test of the CountryModPro 12-volt air conditioning unit, available for your rig in 12-volt, also available in 24-volt. As we close out, I just wanted to make a mention of a couple of different things on the unit itself. One thing that I like is it's built very, very well. All of the components are really structurally mounted with a lot of integrity. I think that they did a great job with regard to the manufacture of the rooftop unit. It's very light. Rooftop unit probably weighs in 50, 52 pounds, easy to maneuver, easy to move around. In my situation, I had to reduce the plenum size. I had to cut some plastic. My roof is only 2.5 inches thick, so I had to modify it so that it would sandwich in the way that it's supposed to. The instructions are really sound as far as the product goes with regard to the installation. You only have 15 feet of wire though, so you're going to want to make sure that you run a measuring tape to find out for sure if that 15 feet is going to be enough. And if it's not, you're going to want to have some extra 4 AWG wire on hand and the ability to crimp your lugs down to make sure that it's mounted safely and securely. The unit runs incredibly quiet, even on the high speed. One, you can barely sense that the compressor's on, unlike the 110-volt models that we've been using. Two, the fan system on the inside is uber quiet. It's the quietest air conditioner as an RV tech that I have yet heard run. So I am really very impressed with that. I'm looking forward to that. For us, this is a great upgrade because we're going to be going with about 2,100 watts of solar on the roof of the Bigfoot, as I've mentioned to you. So this is, pulling a 450 watts at full power with the compressor on. So, man, how can you beat that? That is amazing to me. I really am thrilled about this. I'd like to say thank you to CountryModPro. They have been spectacular to work with since the very first time that they reached out to me. I was on the fence with this because, it's 12 volts. It's kind of a new thing in the industry, but thus far, I'll let you know if it turns out to be a disappointment, but somehow I don't think it will. This is a great air conditioner as far as I'm concerned. I can recommend it right now quite heartily. And again, the customer service from the company has been extraordinary. I have really enjoyed working with them, and the fact that they've sent me this unit is a very generous thing. And it's great because it does set up my roof solar rack to be quite a success without having to be too high to get above a giant RecPro air conditioner. So really excited about this. Listen, if you're in the market and you need one of these, you want to have it installed, of course, I know a guy, Rob the RV guy. That's me. There will be links in the description below for the equipment that I use for the install, the bus bar and the cutoff switch, as well as if there is a promotional code that you can use to get a savings on the unit. It is going to be in the description below. Just check the description for a code should you want to purchase it. I hope that you found this video helpful. I'm thrilled about this air conditioning upgrade, and I think that you would not be disappointed as well, particularly in the van life community. I know these would be a huge success in the van life community. So if you have any questions, reach out to me at the website, robtherrvguy.com. And if you haven't already, if you hit that like button, the subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so that you know when the next video comes out. And as I close out, this playlist right here is all things RV modifications. This video is a video that YouTube thinks you want to see next. And of course, if you click the circle, you're subscribed, and I would love to have you on board as a subscriber. Till next time, Rob out.